Hello, greetings and welcome to the midnight hour, the twilight realm. Things are interesting, things are going on. What are we going to talk about? Late night recording, does it work? Does it stir the creative juices? Am I going to be able to talk well? Am I going to be able to speak eloquently? What ideas come out in the nighttime? We're going to find out together. Hi, hello, greetings. I just recorded for like 5 minutes and I had it on mute. Nice one, me. Fucking sick. This is an animation commission. It's not my normal. It's not my usual. It's not the normal thing that I do. It's sort of an anime style, Tokyo style background that was a commission for someone. I was unsure about this one. I was unsure. I think I'm happy with it in general, but the style of it, the way that I've done it, it's not my norm. It's not my usual. I wasn't used to drawing in this way and animating. I've done a little bit of that before. My new outro and intro and stuff like that, those animations, I guess, are the same style. But, you know, I'm used to doing pixel art. I still don't consider myself an animator. I think of myself as an illustrator. You know, animation is all self-taught in my case. You know, I did illustration at uni. I mainly do illustration. So I don't even see myself really as an animator, but it's fun and you know, it's just a self-taught thing that I do, strangely, get commissioned the most to do. Most of my commissions are like animation requests, which is cool, I guess. I don't mind doing them. I just don't really see myself pursuing maybe a professional career in animation, let's say. Unless it was a case of being involved with an animation project with sort of a concept art role, you know, a still image illustrative role, which they exist, which is cool. I think I just wanted to chat about commissions, maybe. Commissions, working with people, things like that, pricing your work, who knows? There's been lots of weird stuff going on, lots of rumblings around online. I'm sure you're aware, NFT shit going on. I just want you to know, if anyone sees my stuff out there on these weird NFT, Bitcoin, OpenSea sites, it's not me, and report it or let me know, because I'm not going to be using it. I'm not going to get into it, but I just think seeing the whole like environmental thing and how it all feels like a weird like buy into it pyramid scheme, kind of weird scammy world of like art auctions and Bitcoin is very strange to me, and it just definitely puts me off. But it did sort of spark this whole, you know, it sparked this whole conversation, really. I saw some people about, you know, we're all struggling. We all want to make money. We're all struggling artists. Commissions are hard. Money's hard. We're living in a crazy moment where it's like you combine the pandemic with the fact that everyone's looking for work, with this whole NFT thing. Everything sort of is building up to show and like reveal how many people are struggling out there. How many we're all like desperately trying to make a living off art and having an art career, and it's just so hard. It's just really difficult. If you're new here or whatever, you've been following me recently, you know, I do commissions. It's not where I get all my income from, obviously. I mean, as in illustration wise, because I mean, for starters, I've got a part-time job normally. I work in an art shop, and I'm currently on furlough from that, so I've got time off, yet it's not the most conducive conditions for being super creative and getting loads of money doing commission work and things like that. So obviously it's like a weird time where everyone seems to be burnt out, and we're all sort of looking for new ways, new ideas. Fundamentally, I really liked the idea of like these cool digital one-off things. The concept of NFT art is really cool. But it's just a shame that it's just this horrible, environmentally evil, weird kind of scammy pyramid scheme style setup. But anyway, this video is not about that. I've been thinking recently that I want to make more like evergreen videos. You know what I mean by that? You know, videos where I can upload it, and it'll be a succinct little video that alludes to no sort of specific time point, where you can come back and watch it and it still sort of makes sense. But at the same time, I fully acknowledge that I'm just not going to be able to do that. All my vlogs are just pure, like, what I'm thinking at this very moment, and a few months down the line it's just gonna be weird and uninteresting. Which is, it always blows my mind when new people come and comment and things, or like people who watch my stuff, they come and they comment and they say, oh, I've just been like binge watching all your videos, and I'm like, oh, are you okay? Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that. Except, please do, just put my videos on loop or something. Just keep watching my videos over and over again. Much appreciated. I've been talking for like 10 minutes now, and lots of it was not recorded, so I'm a bit annoyed, but we carry on, we're still going, we're trucking along. Yeah, commissions. Let's talk about commissions just for a bit. Commissions are tricky, commissions are hard. I think that there's a lot of different levels of commissions, and then also at the same time, every single type of like art industry have different rules and norms, and you've got to be aware of those, especially if you're like a freelancer. It's sometimes so hard and super hard to judge things and pricing and all that. I would say, I think I'm right in saying this, but animation, for starters, is a pretty unusual thing to do freelance. There's not a lot of freelance animators out there, primarily because animation takes so long. When you think about shows or anything that's like more than, I don't know, 3 minutes long, the amount of work that goes into that, the amount of work that goes into a 3-minute video is crazy. So that's why there aren't really many single animators out there, and why animation is like a huge industry where there's big companies with lots of people. But anyway, different art worlds work differently, you know, from editorial to like advertising, someone commissioning you to do a painting for them, a piece of art that's going to be on a digital space, like maybe they want a profile picture. Then you get into the world of commissions that are more like business orientated. It's one thing to have like a single person, like another freelancer commissioning you, compared to a company, you know, a company that will have contracts. I think when you're starting out and you're freelance, obviously, you know, if you're comfortable with it, there are levels of art where, you know, you agree on a set price. You think of how much your art is going to be worth, and you're going to agree for a one-time payment. That is the majority of the work that I've done, realistically. You know, I've done some longer projects where we've agreed payment over, you know, depending on how many days I've worked. Luckily, lots of the people that I've worked with are really nice, and, you know, it was easy to talk about you know, payment, and it's been a very good experience. But it's always tricky to gauge, and I think you've always got to be prepared. As long as you're valuing your time well, as long as you're valuing your work and you price your work fairly, I think it's all right to maybe be less concerned slightly with you know, contracts and agreements when it comes to individual people, you know, commissioning you for like single pieces of art. You know, let's say they just want a picture for their profile picture. Now, you know, you could say, I'm sure there are people out there who think, oh, that's a bit dodgy. You should always do a contract. Obviously, there are situations where like verbal contracts are kind of a thing, like verbal agreements. You can just sort of write in an email, lay out your agreement and your terms in an email form, and as long as they reply and verbally agree to it, you know, that can conceivably be used as a contract agreement. But I think it's just a case of, as I was saying, there's just so many different levels, and I think you've just got to be aware of that, and you've got to be careful with who you're working with. I think if you get into the point where big companies are commissioning you, you might want to think about getting an agent. If you don't want an agent, then I think that, you know, just be careful with, you know, the agreements that you sort of sign, or contracts that you think up, and be super on it when it comes to like pricing yourself fairly, and just doing research really. That's all I've ever done. But again, as I say, I haven't done a ton of work for big companies. Primarily, these sort of little commissions that I do, it's all based on sort of single people and other artists, musicians, or stuff like that who want art for their business. Depending on the business, you've got and depending on the art that they want, it all changes, how much to charge. For example, you might want to consider or think about licensing fees. Like, for example, if a company or someone wants to use your art for a specific thing, like a branding thing or something on their website, you'd probably want to agree upon a licensing fee. So let's say you agreed for them to use it for a year. If they want to then continue using it, they would need to pay more to keep on doing it. Again, that's something that I haven't done that much of. Again, most of my commissions are sort of one-off payment agreements, which is probably the more usual thing when you're starting out. Commissions is just an interesting thing to talk about. Commissions are sort of a thing that some artists don't even do. Some artists are like professional artists and they've got a full-time art job. Other artists do one form of art and that's it, or they only work with companies, or they only work with publishers, book publishers, and that's it. It's always just an interesting one. I think there's just different levels, and you've got to be aware of what level you're at, aware of who you're working with, who you're making the art for. I always have quite a few emails back and forth and conversations with whoever I'm working with, just to get down specifics and what they're using it for. Asking lots of questions about commissions and things like that is just very important. I don't know where this long ramble of just commission talk came from. I just wanted to talk about it, I guess. I don't think I've said anything super useful or specific, but I think it's just that's where my head was at with this piece in particular, and just with the situation of like we're all trying our best. Commissions are strange, they're tricky. Not every artist does them. You don't have to do them. It's a privilege to commission someone, and it's a privilege to have time to do commissions. Having said that, it's tricky. It's one of those things where commissions are hard. Like, it always changes depending on who you're working with. It always changes depending on what art you're doing. I feel like it's quite a common thing that I've seen knocking around with when people try and give like commission advice. They sort of want you to work out a benchmark based on time and like the minimum wage and things like that. They're quite useful. So I would say, in general, I've kind of essentially done that with my stuff. I've said this before on this channel, but I'll say it again. But when you break it down, fundamentally, my day rate is about £250 at the moment, £250 to £300 for a day's work, and that's about 8 hours. So obviously, 8 hours work, depending on if that's one image, one illustration, or if that's like an animation, it changes how much I can do in those 8 hours. It changes depending on the job. It also changes when you think, how much is fair. Not only am I thinking about how long a piece is going to take me, but let's say something only takes me an hour, I'm probably going to charge more than an hour's work for it, like based on my time equation of how much I've worked out it would cost. And I would just sort of say, if you're thinking of commissioning someone, if you're thinking of commissioning me, just be polite, be open. It's quite nice to get a clear, concise list of things that you want. It's nice to hear what a budget, if it's going to be just a one-off piece, what your budget is. One theme that I've seen going around is that, artists are struggling. Artists deserve fair pay. If you're an artist, you deserve to be paid fairly and well for your time and skill. So I think there's just been an onus online that I agree with. We should be putting pressure on the people who are out there who are commissioning artists. We should be putting pressure on the companies that hire artists and commission artists to treat them fairly. And it shouldn't always be up to the artist to be on constant like guard against art thieves, bad pay, bad clients, etc, etc. I don't know. 99% of all the clients that I've worked have been really great and awesome, and I've enjoyed all my commissions. So yeah, this has been a little commission ramble. I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. I've forgotten what I've said in this recording compared to my last recording. Yeah, I'm not totally happy with it. This is not my usual style. Normally I do pixel art. So I'm not totally vibing with this piece entirely, but I am proud of like the little walk cycle that I've done at the end. I'm sorry that this might be like quite a boring video to watch. I think it just took me a long time to do the background, and then it's just like one big scrolling background. And then I did a walk cycle and layered them on top. And that's it. I should have probably talked about this a little bit more. I should have probably talked about the art a little bit more, and I haven't. Apologise for that. I'll post the link to the song that it was for. A guy called Justin commissioned me. It's a very poppy song. More commissioned stuff on the way, but also I've been doing my own art as well, and I've been liking it. Is good. I'm keeping going. I'm doing my thing. We're all out here. We're all struggling. We're all trying our best in it. But yeah, I don't know. Post in the comments if you've got any questions about like commission stuff, or if you've got any questions about this piece, because I feel like I haven't talked about it enough. I'm quite pleased with the colours, but I'm sorry that I didn't like really record the whole process. I'm really trying to work out a way of how I can make a video about like, you know, a slower video showing my actual animation progress and process. I'm trying to figure out a way to do that, but it's really tricky. It's quite hard. I don't really know. But anyway, I've done one drawing recently that I'm super happy with, and I can't wait to post it, but you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait for that one. Sneak peek spoilers, it is Studio Ghibli based. So be excited. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking now. This is just yet another video on this strange little channel with almost 5,000 subscribers, yo. It's really cool. My name's Harry. You've been watching a Poncho Pilgrim video. More art on the way. Go check out my website. Go buy some prints. Go check out my Instagram, my Twitter. We all over the place. Subscribe for more art. It's gonna be different every time. Every video. Different. Holy shit, how does he do it? How does he do it, man? How does he do it? And don't buy into the NFT thing, man. Don't do it. We gotta look after our environment, yo. Do your best, innit? Do your best.